What's up, Facebook
Hello.
and YouTube? How you doing, Sean?
How's it? I'm doing good, man. How you doing?
I'm doing good, brother. And welcome,
Good
everybody,
stuff.
to the first ever episode of Ramblings of a Madman. I am CW, and this is Sean. And
Hello, hello.
we have two wonderful guests with us this evening, Mr. Bloody Billy Pond and Mr. Parrish Randall. And I guess we'll just jump right in and bring the guys up.
For sure, man. Let's do it.
Let's do this.
Let's do it.
What's up, guys?
Hey, guys. What's happening? What's up?
How are
We're
things
both,
in
we're both in
Allen?
Texas. Yeah, we're not nowhere near each other anymore. We only contact with radar love.
With Radar Love.
That's right.
Billy's in Texas. Where's Parrish at now?
Texas,
I'm in
Okay.
Texas right now.
Oh.
Yeah.
Nice, yeah.
Nice.
Texas,
Way
Texas,
to go,
is-
man.
Texas.
Where it's really
Yeah.
hot. I can tell you. 180 degrees
Yeah.
hot.
Wow.
Yeah, that'll do it for sure. Billy, that's an amazing hat.
It is.
That was
Yeah.
my backup Bloody Bill hat from the late '80s, early '90s when I did Western gunfights. It was always my dream to do it for Six Flags. Y'all remember when you went to Six Flags and they had the gunfighters?
Yeah.
Ever since I was a little kid, I wanted to do that. See, and I went and started my own group after I did. I got called back. It was like over 500 people. I got called back to the top 20. I was only like 18 years old, and I almost made it, but I didn't quite make it. So then I just started my own group. So yeah.
Nice.
Nice. There you go. Yes,
I
sir.
got a little shout out there. I got to get this out of the way and start the comedic relief automatically.
Sure.
I got to do a shout out to Shane Bradford.
Oh, Shane, he's a good dude.
Yeah, he posted a picture earlier, and Lance Wagner shared the shit out of it. And anybody that knows Billy's gonna have a little laugh at this, but I fucking thought it was hilarious.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
Yeah.
So that's
Sure
the Pound's
is.
mood on the beach.
yeah. I think it would have to be a lot more wider as me. Yeah, I'm pretty wide. I'm only tan on the things that show in the sun. So
Yeah. Well, I know I don't tan, man. I either burn or I'm white, and that's it. The only color on my skin is the ink that's actually put into me, and that's about it. Yeah.
I'd say people, I like to tan. I like to, hey, if you don't tan, I look like, you turn off the lights and I glow, right? So
Yeah.
I got to get some color,
Right on.
I'm gonna end up like writing a autobiography, 10 Shades of White or something in my life because, like, dude, you put a 2-watt light bulb on me and you'll see right through me.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
When I did Circus of the Dead, Billy, you remember this? Billy told me, he said, lay off the goddamn tanning, and try to like lighten up like 4 or 5 shades,
we'll
Right.
do that. And what's cool about Cowboys from Hell, they're covered with dirt most of the time, and then once all the killing starts, they're gonna be covered in soot. So it won't
Yeah.
matter in Cowboys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's
I
right.
like that.
We're gonna get
That's
dirty.
right. So there's no shortage of blood in
No,
Cowboys from
definitely
Hell.
not. I really want to set the standard in this and go above and beyond anything that they've done in horror. As far as when they kill the demons and stuff, there's going to be like black soot. So real people die, it's going to be blood, but when the demons die, it's going to be black soot. So that stuff's going to fly everywhere. But I want it to be the most liquidy death that anybody's ever done in a horror western before.
That's gonna be awesome.
That's fucking awesome. Yeah, for sure.
We got
Looking forward to it, man.
We got a promo picture of Parrish for Cowboys from Hell. Actually, I'm gonna. I love that face.
Yeah.
So you're doing, you're doing Butch.
Yeah. Actually, Serge Gracita. Did I say that right, Billy?
Yeah.
Yeah, great guy. Great.
Who is he
photographer.
though, Parrish? What else is he known for?
So what else?
What else is Serge known for?
Oh yeah, Doll Boy. He is Doll Boy. That's right. I think everybody kind of knows that. But as Doll Boy, he puts that mask on and he's this hulking figure that scares the shit out of you. But the guy's really a super cool dude. And good photographer too. I mean, if anybody out there needs some great headshots or whatever, Billy can direct you to Surge. He's the guy to do it.
And that would be that gentleman.
That's Surge.
Yes, yes, sir.
Yeah.
He that character, I don't know, there's something about that character, Billy, that frightens the shit out of me.
It was like that lightning in a bottle kind of thing. He brought the mask to me from Death Studios, Jeff at Death Studios, and it was so cool. But he is bringing in like coveralls and overalls, and I wanted to mess with him. And AC/DC was playing on the radio, and I started thinking of Angus Young in a schoolboy suit, and I said, "Hey, I got an idea, Sergio." And then we did that, and
Angus.
Yeah, the rest is history.
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing.
Is there
any chance of Dollboy having his own full length feature in the future?
Most definitely. But now he does have a ton more screen time in part 2. So does Peppy the Mime and stuff like that. I already wrote the story to part 2. Yeah, I got it. Got my co-writer Lee working on it now too with me. But I wrote a really good story, and it's got a lot of Peppy the Mime, Dollboy, and this new freak that Papa invented called the Wild Woman of Borneo. So it's
nice.
Yeah. So I have my first female villain.
Yeah. Oh shit, man.
I mean, me and Sean been discussing that pretty much ever since I showed him Dollboy. I'm wondering if Dollboy was going to have a standalone film.
We could. It's what's weird is I feel like it's like the Tarantino stuff with Big Kahuna Burger and Red Apple cigarettes. It seems like everything's tied together. I'll tell you this story too. Is when I was trying to get Circus out, it took so long, and some of the craziest things happened. Sometimes I feel like I'm Forrest Gump, but somebody from HBO got a hold of me, and they saw the film or something. They're asking about a possible series, and I didn't tell many people about this. I might have mentioned it to Parrish or something, but and they said, "What would you do if you had a series?" And I said, "I would take Popcorn and do like a Tales from the Crypt." So he would be at the beginning and the end, and then the 40 minutes in between, he does anything he wants to do as far as any movies. It could be about Dollboy, it could be about Mr. Fister, just all this weird stuff that I got going on in my head. Kind of like a chop suey kind of thing. But and then hopefully celebrities would want to be sitting in Popcorn's chair, getting ready to be tortured, and then at the end, these famous celebrities have been killed during the story that was being told and stuff like that, and then tie that in. So it'd be kind of the Tales from the Crypt, but like a Circus of the Dead, road stories.
Yeah. God damn, that would actually, man. That's a. I'd watch it. I watch the shit out of that.
It's like there could be two back-to-back circuses. There could be a prequel to where Popcorn come from. It could be anything in the world, is what I like about it, with no rules whatsoever. Just kind of come out of nowhere and do anything you want to do. Yeah,
fuck yeah, man. God damn.
Yeah, I'd be down for that, man.
Well, I'm looking forward to it because, again, Dollboy, I mean, just from the short alone, it's like, man, this. If he had a full length, there's so many ways you can go with it. It's terrifying. It's like
pure luck, you guys, because that was amateur hour for me. The only film experience I had was working for a TV station. I started a TV station in '98 and worked my way up to creative services. So we'd shoot, cheesy car commercials and stuff like that locally. But I said, well, let's use this camera to film a movie, and we went to this abandoned old flea market and just kind of pulled a movie out of our rear. But Dollboy's more of a, what you call a slasher. I always call him a smasher because of the hammer, but I like those movies too. Yeah, so that's completely different than Circus. Who would have known it would have went a different direction? But I let the movie and the story and the characters be organic and grow to where they need to grow. That's why Parrish's character in Cowboys from Hell is, Donald's a great character for an actor to play, but to me, Butch is the most reminiscent to all the things I've known from Parrish since I've met him, rolled into one. And I wrote a really good role for Bill Oberst in there and Brad Potts, these people that I just know personally. I feel like I can write differently when I know them so well. So we'll see how that works. This will be the first time I've done that.
Well, you're absolutely right there. Because I've heard that from a lot of people too. If you actually know the person, you can write like on their strengths too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So while they're acting, and especially if they're going through dialogue, and need to act a certain way, if you know them and you're focusing on their strengths, they'll be able to nail those parts and those scenes, like hit them right out of the park, because it'll come more naturally to them.
Maybe this is cheesy, but to me, and I don't mean it in a negative way, but they're like video games to me. I know them so well. I know their mannerisms. I know their movements. I know their pauses. I know where they run on set.
That makes sense.
Whatever. Yeah, I know it, and it just comes natural. So when I write this stuff and close my eyes, I can see them and hear them doing it. So it all comes natural. Yeah.
Right on, man.
Yeah, Billy.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Billy has sent me portions of the screenplay as far as dialogue between my character and certain other characters, and it's pretty fucking cool. I got to tell you, I think honestly, writing dialogue, and I've heard so many, screenwriters say this. Writing dialogue is a really difficult thing to do sometimes. Okay, and
definitely can be.
I think what Billy said a moment ago, once you know the people for whom you're writing a character, the dialogue then becomes easier too, I think, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Because already, like you said, the pauses and the cadence, so, as actors, man, it's a blessing when you get dialogue that really fits you, okay? Because oftentimes you're on set and there's a line that maybe you just know it's okay. It doesn't, I can't say it this way perfectly. Can I tweak it and, same line,
ad lib a little bit.
Just maybe change a couple of words there. And, excuse me. That's something on Circus of the Dead that Billy was really great with. I mean, he allowed us as actors, both Bill and myself, to kind of go with it organically. We stuck to the script. I mean, make no mistake. But there were moments, because you become those characters, that certain things just come out natural. Okay.
For sure.
In those moments where you're being tortured or Bill's being sadistic, something comes out that comes from somewhere that is that character. And Billy was one of those directors who loved that. I mean, a lot of directors don't like that. They'll you get the screenplay supervisor, whatever. Oh, wait. But with Billy, he was like, roll, man. So
run with it. Yeah.
Well, Brad was the same way too. Because if you describe Brad Potts as anything, he's not vanilla. And he said, "Hey, this is a little tame. You mind if I turn it up to 10?" And I go, "Yeah." I said, "Shoot one my way, and then let's shoot one yours way." And he did that, and I really liked it. Parrish is the same way too, because sometimes certain words aren't comfortable coming out of certain people's mouths for whatever reason. Maybe it's from their childhood growing up, and their DNA or whatever. It's not. Now, Bill was usually he liked to use the word for something there, and if he had an issue with the word, he would write a thing and ask me about it or something like that. But yeah, I mean, let's try anything. We're not filming with film, so it's not costing much money extra. So we're doing digital. So yeah, if you want an extra couple of takes to try something crazy, let's do it.
Sure.
One thing I really appreciate is one thing to have somebody hired on for a project and be an actor like Parrish was for you. But the relationship that you guys had, I mean, even like right here on the con circuit, it's literally all about fun and love and having that good camaraderie.
Billy's become like a brother, and I mean that. It's kind of like when I first met Billy back in, I think, 2010, he was screening Doll Boy.
Right.
Weekend. And Lloyd Cryer, who owns the convention, he was the guy that started the convention. He said, "You need to go watch this short film, Doll Boy. It's really kick ass." So I did. That's when I first met Billy. And then we kind of communicated via Facebook off and on up until 2013 when we did Circus. And but throughout Circus and after, getting to really know Billy, again, he's family, man. And I've got to say, all the folks out in West Texas, I've done 20-something films, and nowhere on location have I been where, man, all the people were just, fucking awesome. I mean,
don't talk too much about that because we got a special clip I pulled for you.
Yeah.
About that, you got to roll it. You want to roll it now and let Parrish see this?
Yeah. Let's roll it.
Roll it for. It's only like a minute and a half, 2 minutes long.
Okay.
Right. Yeah. Let's cue this up.
Hey, we're here in Odessa, Texas, Couldn't be happier. I'm Parrish Randall, and doing the film Circus of the Dead for Billy Pond, director. Gotta say that I've done 21. Well, this makes 22 independent horror films, and this is one of the best. This is one of my favorites. Billy has taken time to develop one hell of a chilling story. He's taken time to pull together more than just a well above average, an extraordinary feature film with attention to details. As you see the cop cars here, something you don't see ever in your standard, well, on average you don't see in your standard independent feature films. You'll end up usually having the guys out there with the fake lights trying to create the illusion of cops, but Billy brings in cops and uniforms and details, and then he worries about if the details are correct, and I'm telling him, man, what you're pulling off here is so far above average, it's mind-boggling. So as an actor, I played the good guy, Don, and let's just say the poor guy goes through pure hell and damnation. And I read the script, I loved it. It's unique in that usually in horror films, the male character rarely gets to be the tormented victim throughout the film. You know, that's usually a role that goes to the heroine. In this film, it's a male, it's Don, and so there's some scares, shocks, gore. There's some surprises along the way, all courtesy of Billy Pond, and he's one hell of a good guy, hell of a good director. And got to say, it's my first time in Odessa, Texas, and the people have been super, super kind. I've worked New York, New Jersey, Ohio, Kentucky, LA, Arizona, etc. But you know, Texas has the good-hearted, kind, caring folks out there that, man, they'll give you the shirt off their back, and I don't know, their smiles are genuine, and so I'm a Texas boy. It's good to be home.
There we go.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
For anyone that hasn't seen the film yet, you really got to get off your ass and go watch it. But the character the Parrish is talking about is this gentleman right here, Donald. And as he said, he goes through hell.
And for some reason,
go ahead.
For some reason on my end, I wasn't getting the audio. It was kind of like the picture was still framing it, you know, just kind of here and there. But I remember when I gave those words to, I forget who was taping that or whatever, and but I meant it as far as Odessa and Midland and that area. I mean, man, everybody was great, you know. Like I said, people were bringing us food and just you name it. I mean, Billy had a team of people there to support him that, you know, they were amazing. I mean, I kid you not, I've never seen that kind of support for any, you know, filmmaker. Usually you're on location, the car picks you up at the hotel, you know, you're taken to the set and you do your thing, and, you know, back you go to your hotel. And you don't really get to know anybody, but everybody was like introducing themselves, and they were family, and they become family. And and Billy, like I said, Billy's become like a brother to me. We have a blast at the conventions. The fans, man, are awesome. And Billy is one of those guys that, you know, man, totally, he's self-deprecating with the humor, and he won't let you know what a great guy he really is, okay? He's the kind of guy that, man, honestly, if you've got problems or if you've got, you know, just something you need to talk about, get off your chest, whatever, Billy, you can call Billy, and he's never too busy to give you the time. That's more than you get from some of your real blood family, okay?
100%.
This is very true. Yeah, for sure.
It's no big secret either on social media. I mean, you guys share the love. You're busting each other's balls and chops all the time. Billy did up a little promo for this episode, actually, what, a week and a half ago, Bill?
Yeah.
It was like a Dukes of Hazzard's spoof. My cousin Brad called these like, that is blasphemy. Because he loved the show, right?
I even messaged Billy and I said, I honestly don't even know whose face is better in that picture, right? Because they were both perfect.
I do have a BTS picture of Donald as Parrish as Donald. And so, I mean, he looks like he's been through the war.
That's the soundstage right there.
Yeah,
right? So behind the stage, behind the scenes on the character, I mean, I know you're trying to stay in the frame of mind of the character, and it is a fairly, you know, deep topic, but was there any like in between set times, busting each other's chops?
Well, no, actually, not when we were filming the actual, you know,
It was all business.
film.
Yeah.
That picture that you just showed was from when Billy flew me back over. I don't know, about 6 months later, we did some pickup shots and inserts. Okay,
Yes.
and so that was kind of a less intense shoot. We had time to kind of play around, you know, in between takes. But during actual production, you know, it was really essential for me as an actor playing Donald, because I'm one of those people that I'm a method actor. It's about becoming that character and making it real.
Yeah.
And the emotions have to be real, whether it's tears
Yeah.
or anger or whatever.
And you did a fine job, man.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And
Damn
You know,
good.
it shows. It shows.
it was kind of like during that entire month we were shooting Circus, principal photography. You know, I couldn't get to know Bill, for example, Bill Oberst, as Bill, and Bill didn't get to know me as Parrish. He had to see me as Don, and I had to see him as Popcorn. And Billy can tell you this. While Bill and I get along great, during production, we didn't really talk. Yeah, I stayed over. I knew if I got to know him as Bill Oberst, and he's a nice guy,
Yeah.
then I couldn't react viscerally. Like
Well, that makes all kinds of sense, because I've heard nothing but good things about Bill Oberst, about how much of a nice guy he is. And if you do kind of get to know him, it kind of takes that fear away from what you're supposed to be feeling.
Yeah, we were, you know, Billy jokes about it. That sound stage is where you see all the like the clown trailer interiors. That's all shot on the sound stage. And there was that big scene where I wake up, I come to, and I'm, you know, tied up, taped up, whatever. And that's when you see Bill pumping the head of Don's wife. Okay.
Yeah.
And you know, that entire sequence, it probably took I don't know, an entire day and part of the night to shoot. It seems like it anyway. But quite literally, you know, you're going to break for camera resets and all that as you are shooting any scene like that with that much going on. There's a lot of resets. And
that's right.
in between takes, you know, the other actors would go out to craft services, and I could hear them laughing and talking. And they, you know, Billy and Aaron and a lot of folks said, we'll untape you, and you can go out here where it's cooler, because, you know, it was hot in that little, I don't know, clown trailer mock-up. But for me, it was essential to staff. Said, no, I got to leave me taped up. Leave me here. So I could hear people, you know, outside that set laughing and talking at craft services. But I felt like, you know, it was essential for me to stay in there and just continue to feel trapped, because I was gone. And Billy jokes that he farted in my face at one point. You know, he walked by. I don't remember that. You know, I do remember. I do remember one time when Don and Papa are going at it, and Papa is just lambasting Don with all sorts of horrible things verbally. Okay. You know, and I'm reacting, or Don is reacting to seeing his wife's severed head and knowing that these psycho clowns have his kid, or two kids. I was really so panicked as Don. I was Don. It was crazy. I went to this place where I blacked out for a few. It's on film. You know, I didn't pass out, but I mean, I literally, everything just kind of, the panic level went up to the roof. And I mean, I just remember everything kind of, you know, going away for a minute and then coming back to it. And when I watch it, I can see it, you know, in my eyes.
I'll have to look out for that again.
Something happened there, and it was from panic. But that's what acting is. Acting is never acting. You should never act. It should be real, you know?
Yeah, that's right.
We got
That's amazing, man.
Lance Wagner messaged in on the comments there.
Hey,
He said, Bloody Bill is my hetero life mate. And he says, great Parrish and awesome Billy. We got a couple of people watching. Joe Gonzalez says, hi guys. Morgan Wellborn, Damon Williams. So yeah. Yeah, it
And
was.
if anyone out there watching has any questions for Parrish or Billy, feel free to write them in the comments, man.
Bring them in.
Right?
One thing I did notice with like yourself, but damn near. Well, no, you got every single person that was in that film, Circus of the Dead, became their characters.
Yeah.
You can see people acting and you can see people living a character. And god damn, man, the shit that you went through as Donald, like that was hard.
It's one of those things where you're all like, this is awesome.
I mean,
that poor bastard though.
Right? Me and Bill Oberst had talked, and Bill told me, he said initially he kind of hated himself for playing that character because he had to go so deep and dark into the role. It made him feel gross. And he's like, I grew to love that character.
It was crazy, because it again goes back to acting as ever acting.
Yeah.
When you immerse yourself in a character, as Bill did Popcorn, you can't hate the character. You can't play a villain thinking he's a bad guy or whatever. Yeah. And I think Bill found himself, the more he was immersing himself into that character.
Oh, he did.
He was that sadistic clown Popcorn.
Yeah.
And the more I played Don, the more I immersed myself in that character, the more I really feared Popcorn. I didn't see Bill. I saw Popcorn.
Well, exactly.
Yeah, that's right.
So it was this kind of tennis match, the ball going back and forth, and it was a great acting. It was the best experience I've had acting in a film because, I would wake up on the days that I was going to be up doing a scene with Bill as Popcorn. I would wake up with fear, and it's like it's not real, but for the actor, it's got to be real.
And he's not lying either, guys. He woke up and told me he was really fearful, and he rolled over and said, "Billy, I'm really fearful what we're shooting."
Yeah. I told Billy put his clothes on because I had to talk, And
hey, I'll tell you this though: is you shoot some things in a movie, and I shoot it and it seems cheesy or whatever, and then you just gotta hope to the film gods and editing that you can make something work out of it. But shooting those scenes with him and Bill is when I knew I had something special. When they were going at it, especially in that Noodle Dome's workshop room, that's when I knew Parrish was really tied to a chair. He couldn't go anywhere like that. And we all know Bill's the sweetest, nicest guy in the world, but when he's in his character, he turns on something evil, and it was radiating from him that I was even feeling it, and I wasn't even in Parrish's position. So it was really special to watch. But when I watched that moment live happen, I said, I think I got a movie here. I said, at worst, this will be a good movie. At that moment, I knew at least a good movie.
I'm pretty sure prior to me watching Circus of the Dead, because I remember, Billy, I told you I seen it years ago, but I wanted to rewatch it. And you were nice enough to send me a screener, and I took a watch. And I'm pretty sure the next day, literally the only thing I said for 24 hours to you after that was, "You are a twisted fucking man." And you were like, "Thank you."
Yeah, well, like you would, man. Shit.
Right. Shane Bradford put in Parrish Randall's one of the coolest dudes ever.
He's all right.
Thank you, Shane.
He's not bad. He's all right. And we got John Roysland, House of Tortured Souls, and The Witching Hour sends all of her love to Bill and Parrish.
Love back.
Nice.
And Noelle Berger, with the film being so extreme, what did you take the edge off? What did you do to take the edge off, to break off from the seriousness and be able to have some fun?
Well, that goes back to the crew. Something I learned too is it doesn't matter what great actors you bring in; it's the crew behind. That's the meat and potatoes of the movie. And with the people we had, we're all friends and family. The actors become friends and family, so we all just were one big friends and family party. And whenever we had cut or whatever, everybody is wore out and sit down. Other people would get them drinks and stuff because we just took care of each other. So that's how we broke. We would shoot something serious, and I would fart to break the silence or something. We just had a lot of fun. We had a barbecue one day. We had a day off unscheduled that popped up out of nowhere. We all had a barbecue over Roy Shuck's house, and we just had a really good time. Parrish was out there disco dancing or something.
Yeah, I dance. And my wife and I both. We're products of the '80s, man. It's like we went to the clubs, and Billy and them. They gave me a little bit of hell about it, but I say, hey, doesn't matter how old you get, man. As long as you can still dance, keep dancing, because one day you'll get to a point where you can't, and then you'll wish you hadn't missed those days and nights when you could dance the night.
True enough.
John, just coming back in there, Ramblings of a Madman. Great show. Thank you, man. Thank you. We're just trying to keep it loose and have a laugh and walk our way through it. We'll say it that way.
I'll say this, what Billy mentioned about like that Roy Shuck's house. Roy had this layout of food that was amazing. If you're from Texas, man, you love barbecue, you love, and he had this tremendous like barbecue smorgasbord, okay? And he had a bacon explosion, which he's famous for in West Texas, okay? And he's also a DJ, so he had the music, blasting, and it was a great day. And again, answering the question that someone asked, those are the things that when you have a day off and you're able to kind of decompress, those are the things that keep you kind of sane, because you can go too deeply into the darkness of, especially a film like this, where you're not going to go crazy, but it certainly can become awfully depressing. So it's cool to have that day off to just party with people,
just to decompress, man, and just relax. Yeah.
So since the conception of Circus of the Dead back a few years ago, Billy, you've had a wonderful bit of news about a certain group of individuals that people may know.
Oh yeah, those guys.
Those guys, Dread Central, right? And the re-release of Circus of the Dead. Which is on Apple TV.
That old, what's that Smokey and the Bandit song? We're gonna do what they say can't be done. So let's hope we get it out there. Yeah, I respected the heck out of what they did with Terrifier. I kid around about that all the time, but I know Pop would kick Art's ass anyway. But anyway, but it's the eyes, you guys. That's all we care about. Is going back to I love Mom and Paul video stores, and my mom was loving enough to let me rent anything I wanted. I never showed her the covers though, of course, but I always wanted to make a classic that some kid would see someday in a video store. Who knew they're going to switch to online format someday? I didn't see that coming back then, but it's good to have a movie that I think if this would have come out then, that people would have liked it. It would have been kind of a cult classic. So that makes me proud as I was as a teenager going through puberty.
Well, like I showed you earlier, I mean, I'm in full support. And now I'm forced to do the re-releases and add them to the collection as well. And I'll gladly do it open-heartedly. I mean, you're awesome. So,
it's like I told Billy, the fact that Dread Central picked it up and released it after 6-7 years there, that's a testament to not only the film but to the fans, man, the horror genre fans. They kept Circus alive. They didn't let it go away. It's the only film I've ever done that 6 years later it was still being talked about and the fans were still I don't know, they were still embracing it. So the fact that they did embrace it like they did, they gave it continued life, and it's kind of like Billy said, thanks to the fans, the little film did what they said couldn't be done. They sustained it, and until finally a distributor said, "Hey, there's something here. Let's put it out there." And
that's right.
Yeah. So the genesis of it comes from Billy's script. Every good film begins with a script, but the life of it belongs to the fans.
Yeah. Good word,
I mean,
man.
having your film or brand attached to Dread Central, good on you.
Well, let's look at the dirty side of that. And I always liked on these podcasts and things, I like to say something that maybe helps somebody else out there that's trying to do this kind of stuff is So we shoot this in 2013. We put out a rough edit in 2014. That's the one that made it to HBO and Netflix and all this kind of stuff. And then we even had sales reps that went out and shopped us to, I don't know, 40 or 50 potential distributors. And I guess we had about 8 or 9 people that were courting us. And my boss at the time, Barry March, said, well, why don't you go out and contact these other filmmakers that's worked with these guys and see what they said. And I probably sent, I don't know, maybe about 100 emails out to all these different directors and filmmakers to ask how was their experience with certain companies. And honestly, like 9.9% of the time I got bad stuff. And out of those 8 film companies that were interested in us back in 14, you know, half of them are out of business now. But it's a very scary thing. Now, then I went to the route that was supposed to be safe, which was self-distribution. And a lot of people are doing, because now it's easier to get your own movie up on Amazon and all this kind of stuff. So I went through what they call an aggregator. And that's a very good word for these other filmmakers out there, is an aggregator. And there's some new companies that started up too. But what they do is they take it out there, and for a pretty good price, they'll be the middleman to go through there, and they're supposed to give you all the profits. Well, I did that with Distributor, and they were good for the first quarter. But then they didn't send anything else. They weren't answering emails. And a year later, I find out they've gone bankrupt. So it completely lost it. Now, other filmmakers were getting mad, but I almost thought, I said, maybe this is a blessing, because I said, now I'm free of this stuff. So I'm just going to reach out to the company I respect the most and that I've seen, you know, in my genre, that with people I know that dig, and that was Dread. And I made one call, and the guy said, yeah, we'll look into it, and I'll take it to a meeting. And that was Josh Milliken. And I said, everybody always promises something like that, but I'll be damned if he didn't call me back a couple of days later and say they were interested. So,
oh, nice.
Like that, yeah. But it's like Parrish said, if the fans didn't keep it alive, and, you know, and Parrish promoting it, everybody promoting it, me promoting it, being a prostitute for it, that's what saved it. So, but I think at the end of the day, it's just a good movie, and we did it. We made a good movie, and it has a right to be a classic someday, I think.
I'll bet you 100%.
Agreed. There's one scene in particular when I first seen it, because I always pick apart. That's just what I do. I pick everything apart, man, in movies. And the sound, I even turned to Carl, because Carl and I were watching it together, and it's when Papa Corn is in that store talking to Rose, I guess.
Yeah.
I can't remember her name. I just call her Rose because she had the
Tiffany.
With the tattoos. And when she mentions how her boyfriend is scared of clowns, and Papa Corn is just like, is that right? But when he says that effect that you have on his voice, it's almost like you hear, because it almost has that echo, but you can hear that's when his mind is starting to go dark, and that's when he's fixated. And man, it was it was perfect. It was perfect.
Now, I may be speaking out of turn here, but that whole scene was messed up as far as sound, because of the fluorescent lights and machines and stuff. And we were in there, we couldn't kill a lot of their refrigerators because it was back behind walls. It's been plugged in for 100 years. But Lauren Moores, who did the sound, she was telling me this stuff, and I learned so much from her doing this first thing, because she was saying things I never even thought about. But if not for that, she just dove into that so much and had to cover up this weird hum that it ended up making it creepier with what she did. So I think it was a happy accident on our end, and then her expertise, she just like knocked it out of the park. But she's so special when it comes to that stuff. She digs into sound, and it's just more than you hear. I guess what I say is this is going to sound really dumb, but I feel like she's spiritual when it comes to sound. She goes
I get that, man.
Yeah, it's really weird, but she just does something that I've never even thought about before. She digs down deeper than you could possibly imagine and breaks everything apart. And I go, no, I just hear one sound. She goes, oh no, Billy, that's like 3,042 sounds. I go, okay. So she's special. Yeah, she's like some weird audio guru that's just got some serious ears.
Well, she did a fantastic job with that one scene in particular. Yeah. I mean, the sound was great, but that one scene, especially that one specific scene, that one line, it was all like, because Papa Corn's he's playing with the fact, maybe, he's looking at her behind the counter and he's thinking maybe, but then as soon as he says that and that affects on his voice, you're just all like, yeah, everything in Papa Corn's head just went. It didn't just go dark, like it blackened out, and shit's about to get real around here.
That night, it was a lot of fun. We spent about, I guess, a week and a half up there, and we could only shoot from midnight to 5 a.m. in the store after they closed. It was all good, but when Bill jumps up on that counter to go over it, his knee went out of socket one time, and he had the worst pain scream that I've ever heard, and it scared us. I thought the movie was over. And then after we got that taken care of, when he jumps on top of Tiffany, his gun fell out of the holster and hit her in the tooth. So I'm thinking, oh no, I just had an actress's tooth knocked out. So it's like, I'm lucky to get out of that scene alive. So I was glad we wrapped that one up.
Yeah, really. Wow.
I got to bring something else up here too, because I'm just trying to moderate the time for us here also.
Yeah, for sure.
Actually, before I jump into that, you want to give us all a quick little update on where you're to with Cowboys?
Yeah.
I'm done with the script. What I'm doing is fixing it and stuff now, and I won't let anybody see it. Only my closest is Lee Ankrum seen it. He's my writing partner, and once we're debating back and forth with each other, and once we're done with that, we'll get it to probably Melissa and Ray, and as soon as they correct me on some things, and I'll get it to Parrish and Brad and let those guys take a peek at it. But it's the COVID, if anything. Once we start, you'll know, because I'll start doing some GoFundMes, and I don't know if it'll work, because I haven't ever done a GoFundMe on a film yet, because I didn't want to kind of blow my load too soon on it. But I was thinking about even auctioning off their guns, which will be real guns and stuff. So I thought, for a real collector, they might be a little steep price, but I mean, can you imagine owning one of John Wayne's guns from one of his movies or something? It would be priceless down the road, I'd hope. So
yeah, for sure.
Some really cool stuff is that, as far as costumes and things, that would be the only place you get it is through that, as far as perks and stuff. So
well, that's another role I'm looking forward to seeing you in, Parrish.
I look forward to it.
Sure.
The character is I don't want to give it away, but the character is unique, and he has some great comedic dialogue that's also kind of poignant too. So it's kind of cool, and he's not your average cowboy in a Western. He's a cowboy, but he's from hell. I don't know, but
we got a couple of more things that Parrish has done, and also some coming up stuff. But before we get into that, I'm going to throw this up on the screen and get Bill to explain what the living hell started all this.
Nice.
I miss that a lot. Actually, that's Billy Hendrix' Experiment. I was copying Jimi Hendrix Experience, and they go, "Oh, you mean Experience?" I go, "No, it's Experiments, because we weren't that good. It's only an experiment." But man, we had some really good shows, and us not wanting to do it made us more popular in town. So I don't know if you guys know much about local bands, but you do good to get $400 a gig. We were getting offered $1,000 before it was said and done, because we had to turn them down. Our bass player at the time just hated wearing wigs and stuff like that. So I would turn them down to be nice, so the bass player wouldn't get mad, and then the price would go up so much that he would say, "Okay, I'll do it." So it was pretty fun, though. I do miss doing that, but unfortunately, doing that, I always ended up getting excited and smashing guitars or catching them on fire or something. So I'm kind of glad so that I don't waste all my guitars again. So yeah.
Sean knows about the music scene. Actually, the audio clip we use for our intro for Ramblings is from his band. If you want to talk on the band for a second there, Sean.
Yeah, it's I'm the only Canadian member in a Finnish death punk band, I guess, called Relaxative. And our guitarist, I was speaking to our guitarist Yanni, who kind of wrote that whole riff as the intro to a song of ours, and he was kind enough to say it's cool to use it as the intro to the show. And yeah, it's fun stuff. We've been on a bit of a hiatus, but it's kind of hard when they're there and I'm here. It's like
I tell you though, you'll make as much money in the music business as you will in the film business.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, no,
it's
I'm trying
fun
to catch up on comments here, and Clegg and Wagner are gone at it again.
Oh, go on. But Billy, I did have one question. Did you, when you were with the Billy Hendrix Experiment, was was that originals or Hendrix covers or both? Or
Hendrix covers. We were starting to get so bored where I started writing some songs, like if Hendrix would have wrote them. And some people know the difference. Yeah, that was kind of fun. But yeah, we have just a 3-piece because we couldn't keep a singer, and that was just kind of out of a fun little break. Now we're doing Corn-Fed Cadillac. But I heard the other day that our singer just closed on a house in Granbury and may be moving away. So we've got enough to record an album, and I'm real proud of our original. So we need to record something before he moves real quick, I think. But, local bands, it's tough because everybody moves away and stuff, and you don't make enough to keep it together. So you got to start with somebody new every couple of years, it seems like.
Yeah, there's a lot of that going on here too, actually, unfortunately.
There was a video actually on YouTube a while back, a few years ago, Billy, with you doing the Jimi Hendrix experiment or whatever. I mean, it was like a concert in the mall, okay? Yeah. And I watched it.
I'm going to have to look that up.
This was after Circus, and so I'd never seen Billy in the wig and the guitar. I'd never seen him as a musician. I knew him as a director. And then I'm watching him up there on stage, breaking the guitar and doing all the stuff. And I'm thinking, holy shit, he should be an actor too,
Yeah,
the acting thing come with the whole wanting to play a cowboy as a kid. That's all I ever wanted to do in life. Now, somebody says, are you going to do anything in Cowboys from Hell? It's like, at most, I might be in the background somewhere, but I'm not much about that. I think what I'm more about is really making a good movie and letting these guys play cowboys and demons, because I think we're all going to have a fun time, even if we're not on film. Now, fortunate for Parrish, he's a great friend and brother, and Bill and Brad, Patrick, Ryan, all these people. I mean, I work with them, and I know a lot of new actors and stuff want to work with me too. And it's like, I always tell them, is like, I'm never not wanting to hire somebody. It's just usually limited. So just, keep trying and don't ever give up, because just because I don't get you on one thing here, it doesn't mean that I'm not paying attention, because I've got 4 or 5 people I picked up for Cowboys that I've been watching and had my eyes on. So you just never know. So just keep hanging in there, because to me, at the end of the day, we want to make a good movie with people that we love and respect. And we don't want much drama or nothing on, in life. So we all have to be a family on set, so we make something good.
That's right.
I'm going to catch up on a few comments here.
Sure.
Lance chimed in, and he's look, it's Brian Clegg, Shark the Clown. So yeah, I mean, if you're looking to add a new clown to Circus Part 2, I mean, reach out to Brian. He can probably come on as Shark the Clown, right?
Well, everybody wants to be a clown in the sequel, but it's like I don't even know the nice way of saying it though, but it's like, if I started going crazy and do that, then I'd be like every sellout movie that's ever been made. So if anything, there will not be any new. But I will say I do have something very, very special for the promotion of Circus of the Dead 2 that may or may not involve Shark the Clown.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
That is awesome.
If I could interject one thing, I always kind of, gauge a movie after I've done it, by my wife's reaction, because she's totally not, she's not an actress. She doesn't do anything on the crew. She's someone who watches movies, and she's terrified of clowns. Make no mistake. But when she watched Circus, she was more disturbed by Circus when she saw it the first time than she was by, say, watching It or so many other clown movies. And she said that's not your average clown movie.
Oh, no, definitely not.
To her,
No, it's really not.
Those clowns were not the creepy doo kind of clowns. They were John Wayne Gacy kind of clowns. The kind of people that you knew there was a real person underneath all that grease paint. You knew there was somebody sadistic and evil that was going to wreak havoc and hell on your life, okay, in the form of Popcorn. But Popcorn, underneath all that makeup, was a serial killer. He was a real guy, so it wasn't just about the clown fear. It was about, as you put it, something that runs much deeper, that complete fear that we all have of that real human being, flesh and blood, that's going to break into your house and do you some real harm. And that's what I think sets Circus apart from a lot of the other clown movies over the years.
I'll tell you guys this. Here's a true story I don't think I've ever told before. Parrish hit it dead on. Is, Billy, why would you make a clown movie? Because I like to be challenged in the sense of I saw Dr. Chopper when I was younger, and I'm not going to bash the movie or nothing like that, but I saw some like really crappy rubber arms from Spirit hanging up on decorations and stuff, and I kind of said, hey, well, if they can make that, I should give it a try too, and that got me in business. But the whole clown movie thing, as I said, what if you did everything opposite of what everybody else would do in a clown movie? And that's what I did. Is just because you're a clown, you shouldn't collect 1 million clown artifacts. You shouldn't have a car with polka dots on it. You'd have a Camaro or something like that. So every decision I made with the clowns was to do opposite of what you'd think. I did research in the makeup with Esau and everything, and we just made sure it was real and honored the tradition of being a real clown without the, like Parrish said, the funny ha-ha. You know, it wasn't,
or also without having that supernatural element to it.
Exactly.
As well, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It almost makes it that much more terrifying when you realize that it literally could be anybody. It could be the circus that is literally passing through your town right now, you know?
Yeah.
With those group of guys.
Brian Clegg chimed in. Circus clowns are a lot scarier because they're 100% possible. And I grew up hating circus clowns. I can do bands like ICP and stuff like that. Intentionally scary clowns do not frighten me in the least. John Wayne Gacy type shit, very possible. Yeah. It has happened. It will probably happen again in our lifetimes. That stuff is very plausible, and it up until about 10 or 12 years ago, I wouldn't go to a circus. It just frightened the shit out of me.
Wow.
And this is coming from somebody that grew up watching horror films. I just hated clowns. I've grown out of it over the last 10 or 12 years. But that was my one thing in life, I guess, as even growing up through my 20s. It just struck a chord with me. I don't know. They're looking at you smiling, and you're like, but how many ways are they looking at and going, I could kill you 1,000 different ways?
I think that's the thing, you know, when you talk about John Wayne Gacy or any of these real clowns at the circus, you never know the real person beneath all that makeup, okay? Who is that real person behind that smile? It's creepy as shit to me in that way. And I think that's what circus brought to the screen. This kind of, this is a real person. These people are psychopathic serial killers, and they are running with a circus under the guise of clown makeup, which gives them this perfect opportunity to execute all these horrific crimes and deeds. So to me, it was I always told Billy this: circus was more of a violent crime thriller than say another or whatever, one of the other clown movies. And I think that's what kind of differentiates it. And as an actor playing Don, that's the way I approached it. I never saw Popcorn as the clown with the clown music that you normally hear in the background. Okay, Popcorn was somebody who was a twisted motherfucker that was out to kill people like Gacy was. He had just found the perfect niche in which to do that. Okay, he hid behind the makeup. He ran with the circus. It was a perfect cover, and he left a trail of bodies in his wake. I mean, that's how I viewed it. And I think that's Popcorn. That's Circus of the Dead.
I had Melissa Land, the producer, bought me a book. Is like 99 People You'll Never Meet in Heaven. It's like I always call them a toilet book. You sit it on the bathtub next to the toilet and you go to it. This is before phones are super popular. And I remember reading that Gacy quote, and then that helped me with the ending of the movie. If a clown gets away with murder. So that's where the whole thing comes from, is just reading one quote in a book, from John Wayne Gacy. That's what inspired the whole movie. That and seeing House of 1,000 Corpses so long ago and seeing how Sid Haig played that so perfectly inspired me for the movie.
R.I.P. Sid.
Yeah.
Very, very missed gentleman. Actually, I never had a chance to meet him in person, but we conversated back and forth, and he sent me a postcard signed. And I still have it framed in my bedroom. And God rest his soul. So, I'll catch up on a couple more here. Okay, Brian Clegg. Parrish is a genuine human being and a walking horror encyclopedia.
Yeah.
Nice.
Thank you, Brian.
Lenore chimes in. Sean, shirt's awesome. Billy Pond, awesome hat. And she says, fuck cancer. And Parrish, where's your Friday the 13th lunchbox?
It's over here on this other shelf. My wife comes in and she moves shit, and then it's like, I live in a world of organized chaos myself, okay? She is that person that wants to organize everything, and then when it's organized, I can't find a damn thing, right? When it's my chaos, man, I know where everything is. All right, I don't know. So it's over there on the shelf somewhere. Sorry.
Lance said Papa Corn just plays the cards that he was dealt. Very admirable.
Ooh, that's actually a really nice way to put that too.
It is.
And if you watch the movie, you'll understand exactly what I mean by that. So go watch it.
Yes, sir.
Everybody.
All right, so I got to ask. Obviously, we're going to get more of a statement first. We're going to get a Circus at a Dead 2 when the time is right. And hoping that we spoke on it earlier that we're going to see a more off or a feature on Dollboy down the road. Something along the lines. And then this is a film that Parrish was in. I have yet to still see. Can you tell us a little bit about that, man?
Actually, that was my first principal lead role. I played the lead villain in this film. It was shot out in Los Angeles, actually back in 2005. And we shot it literally over 28 days without a day off, except it was shot 90% in LA and 10% in Texas. Okay. And the only day off we had was when cast and crew boarded the jet to fly back to Texas to do the Texas portion. And we had one basically set of wardrobe that never got washed. So by the end of 28 days, we were ranked. But I played Blythe Remington, who basically started a plague, the zombie plague. And he's a government-hired bounty hunter who he's hired to go out and hunt and kill zombies, to eradicate them. And the way he gets his bounties, from every zombie he kills, he clips off their pinky and he keeps them in a bag. And for each pinky, the government pays him so much money. Well, he has a nemesis named Ren Baskin, who's played by Clint Hummel. And there's the whole movie is kind of those two guys butting. He's also a bounty hunter. Ren and Blythe are butting heads amidst all this zombie action. But it was a really fun, cool experience. I was, flown out to LA, and we were shooting on. Well, one of the Western Town set was actually out in Lancaster. They had it booked solid, one film would shoot there, and then the crew and the cast would move out, another one would come in. And I just remember stepping out of the trailer. We actually had trailers. Well, I think we had one trailer, but anyway. And there's this 40-man crew with the big cameras and lights, and I'd done the bit parts on Walker, Texas Ranger and different type, episodic programs that had shot in Texas and in LA. But suddenly, when I stepped out of that trailer to do my first scene as Blythe, and all these people, 40 people on the crew, and that's when it hit me as an actor. Okay, Parrish, you better suck it up and do it right, because everybody's depending on you. Okay. Know your shit. And I'll never forget that moment. I know it may not sound important to other people, but it became the most kind of important moment for me as an actor in my life, as far as looking forward towards a career doing these films, in that I realized there's a lot of people depending on you to get out there, do your job, get it right, and then get the fuck out of the way and let other people do what they got to do. Don't cause drama. Right. Don't be that person who wants, to bitch about it being too hot, too cold, whatever. Show up, do your job, be prepared, and then get out of the way and let other people do what they got to do. Okay.
Which is the most professional way to look at it, really.
And that's how I committed to doing all the films I've done after that as well. But Quick and the Undead got picked up by Anchor Bay, Stars Media.
Nice.
And I'll never forget, it was like maybe 6 months later, after we wrapped the film, I got the call from Jerry Knott, who directed it. And he was telling me they're premiering it at Mann's, what was known as Mann's then. I don't know. Brahman's and then Mann's, where the footprints are in the cement, right?
Yeah.
And I couldn't believe it. I was like, you got to be shitting me, It was a good experience. Now, they've talked off and on over the years about doing a Quick and the Undead Part 2.
Okay.
Dead West. I don't know where that's going to go. It would be interesting to go back after 15 years and kind of like revisit these characters and see, how they've evolved and what state the world is in now in that context.
For sure.
Yeah, but I'm very grateful to Jerry Knott and Clint Glenn for giving me that break. After that came The Flesh Keeper and Slaughterhouse, a lot of other films, and I love the horror genre and was happy to be a part of Quick and the Undead, thrilled to be a part of it, and thrilled to continue to work in the genre, because I'm a fan, and the genre fans are family too. I mean, we're all at conventions. It comes together, and man, it doesn't matter if you're the lawyer, the doctor, the actor, I don't care, whatever. You all come together and share one thing in common: your love for this great genre called horror, and that is awesome, man. It puts everybody on the same playing field.
The one genre of film that I find has the most tight-knit family, I'll just refer to it as family, like fans, the actors, everything. The horror genre brings people together like no other genre. It really does.
It does. And at conventions, I say I've seen the guys who are lawyers talking to the guys with the green and purple mohawks. Okay, where else? And outside of that horror convention, you'd probably never see the very different type people from different lifestyles and things come together like that. But under the roof of a convention that is a horror convention, because of that love for the genre, you've got these people that come together and they embrace this mutual love for a film genre that gives them that something to talk about. It's that mutual common ground, man. It's great. It brings people together. And no other genre does that.
That's true. You don't see hundreds of people gathering around talking about the latest comedy.
Right.
Or the rom-com. It's like, oh, did you see?
Exactly. I tell my wife, my wife loves chick flicks. I mean, and she makes me watch them with her occasionally. And I tell her, hey, there's no conventions for those. Okay. Who goes to a convention to see, I don't know, the Julia Roberts crowd? Okay. I mean, God bless Julia Roberts, but what I'm saying,
for sure.
The horror fans are family.
Yeah,
I agree 100%. I mean, I run my own horror genre convention here in Newfoundland. We refer to where we live as the Rock.
Wow.
NL HorrorCon, and I mean, never say never about getting you guys at the event sometime. So,
sure, we'd love to have you there.
Yeah.
And against all odds, I was told straight out that I was teetotally insane, that it would never work in a small province like Newfoundland, and I can literally look at everybody and go like that. So, right, it worked. It brought a group of people that I didn't know Sean, and we met at NL HorrorCon, and here we are working together, making films, doing a show together. I mean,
sure.
I brought a group of people together that never didn't know each other, and now it's just one big happy conglomeration of insanity. I wouldn't change it for the world.
It's like Texas Nightmare Weekend. Texas Nightmare Weekend began in 2006 as a very small convention at the Grapevine Civic Center in that part of Dallas. Okay, and then it exploded. It grew exponentially every year, and now we see this fantastic monstrosity of a convention. It's huge. Okay. But it began very small, and it's a testament, just like your story, to basically, I think, you know, if you, it's kind of like Field of Dreams. If you build it, they'll come. Okay. Horror fans want that convention. Maybe we need to call it, you know, Field of Screams or Horrors or something. But bottom line, horror fans love to get together.
We do.
And talk.
Yep.
Horror. That's it. You know.
Yep.
And as actors, as you know, doing these films, it's great to meet the people who support you, who support the genre. Because without the folks who watch the films and support the films, whether it be Circus or whether it be Quick and the Undead or any of the others, we wouldn't have a job. I tell the horror fans, I work for them. I work for them. Okay? And while the director may be the boss on set, in the grand scheme of things, it's the fans who determine whether or not you're going to keep working and whether or not the film
That's right.
well. Okay? So they're the
Without
boss.
fans, there's no paycheck.
You got it. So they're the boss.
Yeah.
And Billy's the boss too. I mean, Billy's always the boss.
I do have a question before we got actually. I got two video clips, their trailers from Parrish to pop up the show. But I never even had this thought about until just then, and I'm gonna fuck it. Why not? If Damien never reached out, would you be willing to do a Popcorn Art the Clown crossover?
Yeah, and I thought about that. Here's how it would work though. If Art dies, he gets to direct it. If Papa dies, I get to direct it. So it'd have to be like that. So because that'd be the only way it would be fair, I think. Or a third person that has nothing to do with either one of us, maybe. So.
I like the idea that you just had.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like
But
that.
it's if you know what, if my guys turned into hunters and hunted those kind of supernatural things like that, they would be really cool clown hunters, because as cool as Papa and his guys are and going around in muscle cars and doing it, it's kind of like that hack and slash kind of thing. I think that would be pretty cool to do. So
Yeah. And I mean, I know.
With that said, though, I'll work with David Thornton someday. I know I will. I like what he does, but he'll just never play a clown for me. I won't let that happen. I'm not going to talk. I mean, what are you going to bring him in to play a clown? You're not going to top what he did. So he'll come in and do something else. But yeah, hopefully I can work with him though someday. I followed him. He was on the short list for Popcorn.
Wow.
Back from the MySpace days because of his Joker cosplay.
Yeah, he actually done Joker in Nightwing Escalation.
Right. So I've seen him before even that. So he was always on my little list, but I lost some of my notes and stuff, you know, years and years and years. So, but when I found this top 5 list, it was like Oberst, him, Paul Rubens, even Paul Taylor. I've been talking to Paul T. Taylor too. He was on that short list too. So it's pretty funny. And now I'm meeting these people in real life. Now I haven't met David yet, but I meet him and Damien at the next Frightmare. So that'll be fun. I'm going to try to get somebody to film it when we first meet, because I thought it'd be pretty interesting and see. So we'll see.
You know, I met David a couple of years ago, and he's a really cool guy.
Yes.
And also, I got to say, you know, in a different, you know, Terrifier is, I say it's a different clown genre movie. Okay, there's Circus, which is it's kind of clown genre, like I said a while ago, and there's Terrifier, and Terrifier works as well. And I think, you know, David, he did a fantastic job as the clown. You know, I mean, it scared me. Now he's the kind of clown that scared the shit out of my wife in that clown way. Okay.
Yeah.
And Bill obviously scared my wife in that that John Wayne Gacy way. So, you know, both performances are iconic in separate ways, and they're standalone. And I respect both Bill and David greatly for what they brought to both those characters.
I'd love to see David under direction of you, Bill. I know you guys have a good, healthy relationship online, tormenting the hell out of each other, and that's to say the least. But no, I can actually see that working out to be having some on-screen magic.
Well, I'm just riding their coattails is all I'm trying to do to get some more eyes on us. But I would hire Damien for effects, because some of those effects he did in that movie were very, very impressive. That
hacksaw scene.
That was very impressive. So I would work with him and do that. But maybe he's too busy doing directing stuff now. But maybe at Frightmare we'll talk about that and stuff and see.
See if
I
you
would
can
like to make a movie. like Terrifier because to me it reminded me of a Dollboy in a sense. I would like to make a slasher or something where I don't have to think as deep as I did as far as going into some kind of weird madness. The Circus of the Dead was just hard to make. It really took a lot out of me and stuff. Sometimes just killing and making excitement is easier for me to do than handle the mental, emotional thing that it's taken on everything. So,
For sure.
Well, I'm going to be keeping my eyes and ears open for anything down the road on that front.
Yeah, my wife and I, we were watching, a few slasher films the other night. I have a whole slasher film collection. I mean, I got every one ever made. I love slasher films. That genre is great because you don't have to think. It's like you start out with X number of teenage or college age kids, and one by one they're going to be dispatched in horrific, creative ways, and then you got that crowd, girls usually running. And I grew up in the '80s, the early '80s. I was a teenager when it was that golden age, man. And in watching like The Prowler the other night, we watched The Prowler, Slumber Party Massacre, and those films, those slasher genre films, that formula still works, And
Very much so.
yeah, I would love to see Billy tackle a slasher film and bring his brand of horror to a modern day slasher film, following yet still that old formula. I think that would be cool.
well, and you know what it'll be called? It'll be called Mr. Fister. So,
That's it.
Right?
yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. I mean, I follow a group of Texans down your way. Renfield and Will are actually in process of doing a 80s style slasher right now, Butcher's Love.
Yeah, real good dudes. I know those guys. Always been good and nice to me and stuff. And they got Bill went out there recently, and I think Paul Taylor, and a lot of people heading out that way.
Yeah. L.C. Holt, Tyler Chacon. There's a couple of they got a couple of Bill Johnson. So I mean, they got some big names involved in that too.
I've made a pretty good friend with Tyler. He's he's a guitar nerd like me, and he makes pickups. So he actually makes Fender pickups for me. Yeah, we've become pretty good friends, but we don't talk as much movies as we do guitars. So that's usually when we talk, it's about guitars.
Tyler was at my event in October past.
He's a good dude, real nice guy.
Tyler's a good guy.
Yeah.
He's going to be in Cowboys. I'm going to find. He'll be out there with us on that. I bet you so.
Nice.
Nice.
Well, I'm going to jump into a couple of little projects that Parrish got coming up. One known as Fun, and this is going to be funny. Hair Metal Shotgun Zombie Massacre. When I seen the name of that, I was like, "What the hell?"
Yeah, and actually, Hair Metal Shotgun Zombie Massacre, it's been playing the drive-in circuit here in the States. And it's been doing pretty well. So, never thought that, most of the films, well, all of the films that I've done as an actor, because we live in this digital age, they go to DVD, Blu-ray, VOD. This is the first time that I've had a movie that I'm in. I was also a producer on that film that has played drive-ins. And it was just, while I didn't get to go, I haven't been to the drive-in to see it. People were sending me photos. It was just cool as shit to see the cars and the, their hair metal up there on the screen. Because I'm a kid, when I was a kid and a teenager, I grew up at the drive-in, man. It was all about I Drink Your Blood and Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Last House on the Left. So, to me, the drive-in is sacred, okay?
Yeah.
So I couldn't be more proud of the film. It's a comedy, and I tell Josh, the director, who also wrote the screenplay, God damn, he gave it the longest title of any film in history, It's like, everything's like a Zombie Massacre. How's that going to fit on the marquee? But it's cool to fit on the marquee nonetheless. And I played Bob Bastard, who's just a burnout guy from the 80s, kind of like a Keith Richards, record label beat him out of his millions of dollars, and he is one fucked up dude. But he was fun to play, okay? And he and his bandmates are caught in this kind of evil dead, demonic dead apocalypse. And these coked up, wired up guys are in no way prepared to handle what they got to battle, okay? So, the other film, Fun, I did up in Ohio, and it was a really cool kind of departure from that, in that it was more of it's a horror film, but it's more of an action thriller. I played the father to a young woman who is assaulted. She's an Afghan war veteran who's suffering from PTSD, and I play a guy, Steve, who is a Gulf War vet, and he had suffered from PTSD, but he had managed over many years to get to a better place. When his daughter is assaulted, all hell breaks loose. And so the title "Fun" is kind of has a double meaning. You know, there's a lot of fun that goes into a lot of things that happen to these bad guys. You know, so yeah, you got to check it out. I think it's been picked up to play the Chicago Film Fest. I know they have the distribution deal, so excited about that one as well.
For sure, as you should be.
Yeah, so just, I'm thankful to keep working. That's it. And I think any actor will tell you that. And again, I say I owe it to the fans. That's it.
Well, I can clue it up. Do you want me to pop up the trailer?
Yeah. Well, how are we doing for time?
We're actually a little over time, so we'll get into the 2 trailers, get them shown, and Clegg got a comment I'll bring up after that for Billy, and then we'll clue up. And we'll,
all right, sounds good.
So here is the trailer for Hair Metal Shotgun Zombie Massacre. Did I say that
Amazing.
Right?
You got it right.
I got it right.
Amazing title.
Remember it.
All right, here we go.
So whose studio is this anyway?
It's Boy Stooge, I know. Yeah, best engineer in town.
Where's the studio?
Coldgrave Cemetery.
That means we are going to record the most metal fucking album in the galaxy.
We're looking for something like Poison Meets Nitro, but not gay.
Twisted Sister's re-recording of Stay Hungry, but evil. Fuck, man, when our album comes out, people are gonna go fucking ape shit. I can fucking feel it.
This killer shit you guys laid down. It's fucking good, but it's missing something, you know? It's something dark.
Where exactly did you find this?
In the cellar.
This book could be the missing ingredient we need.
You think those little robotic shitbrains you call metal fans won't buy whatever poorly inspired, poorly written garbage we put on the fucking market? Five Finger Death Punch went gold, for fuck's sake.
You don't open a fucking bleeding book and believe that anything other than something horrible is gonna happen.
Those things outside, demons, man. Guys, what are we gonna do?
Maybe we can sacrifice Thaddeus and send him back.
Fuck you.
Five Finger Death Punch went gold, for fuck's sake. That was hilarious.
That is amazing.
That was hilarious.
I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, I've got it.
It was the first comedy. It was the first comedy I'd done, and I was a little bit intimidated at first because, with comedy, it's about timing and certain things that you can do drama, you can do horror. There's drama and horror, but comedy is different. And but I found out it was fun once I got beyond, just fearing not being able to do the comedic timing thing. And the only challenge about that is we all had this wonderful lady who did the hair because it's hair metal, right? So suddenly she's gluing in all these long hair extension things into our heads. And, oh man, you couldn't take them out the whole shoot. And you just want to claw your scalp, man. So I told my wife, once I completed that film and got those damn things out of my hair, I told my wife I had a total respect for her and these women that wear those fucking things because shit, You know, I wanted to shave my head.
Plague just said he needs this movie in his eyeballs.
Yep.
Well,
There's a lot of people I know that are going to
be
be anticipating that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so we're going to throw up the trailer for Fun, and we'll give that a watch. All right.
Sounds good.
What'd you say, pussy?
Stop.
Ah!
Hey!
Leave him alone.
Who are you?
I'm Scotty.
I'm Alex.
Listen, nobody is gonna find out. And you know what? They won't hurt you again. No one will hurt you again.
We're gonna get in trouble.
No, we're not.
She needs to see a professional.
And she will, when she's ready.
You know, we've only been together once since you've been home. I keep seeing him. I can't live like this anymore, Abby.
Sam, oh my God, I missed you.
I missed you too. I was just getting ready for bed.
Who are you talking to?
Nobody.
I can hear you through the door.
We both fucked up, and if you're willing to let things go, I'm willing to let things go. Do you want to go away with me for the weekend?
I'm looking for a place that's supposed to be around here. It's called Rectory House. It's a B&B.
You make a right out of here, and the first road you come to, make a left.
Surprise!
Leave her alone!
Bam!
What do you want? No! I'm gonna fucking kill both of you myself!
That's not what I want to hear. I want you to fucking do it. Come on, Sam! Welcome to your B&B, Abby. Blood and bondage all fucking night.
Yeah.
Not so much comedy.
That one looks good too.
Yeah. So that's 2 hours.
Right on.
Okay, so
Yeah, it was,
Hair Metal is already out in drive-in, and Fun is
Fun. It's about to play Chicago, the Chicago Film Fest, and but they already had a pre-distribution deal, so I'm not sure the dates for it, but I know it's going to hit Blu-ray, DVD, VOD, all that good stuff. And so yeah, and again, that was a film that was written and directed by Robbie Barnes and Kinsey Bernard. Perfect Holiday Productions. 2 wonderful ladies that are actresses that also write, produce, and create their own horror films. And Robbie and I had worked together previously on a film back in 2013 called Estella's Revenge. And we really enjoyed working together. She's a tremendous actress who brings it, and total respect to her. And we had said over the years we wanted to work together again. So I got a call last year from her, and she said, I've got a part. And we talked it out, and next thing I was on the jet and I was in Ohio, and
nice.
It was great working with Robbie and that team again. They were awesome folks.
So social media wise, guys, actually first off, Brian Clegg, right here, wanted me to tell you, Billy, get Tyler to play guitar on Cowboys.
Maybe,
you never know.
Yeah.
And who was that? Sean Smithson.
Actually, he's going to build a period correct guitar for the movie.
Nice.
One in the movie, and we're going to auction the other one off on the fundraiser for the movie.
Awesome.
Great.
Yeah, we are doing that for sure.
Awesome. And Sean Smithson said, "Fun looks fun."
Cool, thank you. It's a kick-ass film, and yeah, so check it out.
So, if anyone wants to find your two films here, Hair Metal and Fun, where can they go online to pick those up?
Well, right now they're not out there online for sale or download. Like I said, Hair Metal has been playing drive-ins, selected drive-ins. I know next is that VOD release and that DVD Blu-ray, and I'll definitely post those dates and let everybody know when I know. And Fun, same thing. I know it has that pre-distribution deal. I don't have the dates yet, but as soon as I know, I'll throw them out there on social media and shout it out. And but yeah, watch for those two films. They're two totally different films, but both of them are fun. No pun intended. You know,
right? And
Billy?
I'm sure Carl and I would be more than happy to help spread the word as well, right?
Appreciate
it. When you spread the word, we will be more than happy to share it out as well with everybody.
Thank you.
Anything you guys want shared or whatever, just send it to me or Sean, and we'll share the shit out of it.
Cool.
Yeah,
that's
I
not an
appreciate
issue.
it. Thank you.
And would I be correct in saying, Billy, anybody looking for the re-release copy of Circus of the Dead, go to dreadcentral.com.
Mm-hmm.
And
unless you want to buy a bootleg copy from my mom, she's selling them out of her trunk. I think it's $1.50. Give her a call.
Is it possible for people to still reach out to Bloody Bill and get the original releases?
Yeah, just hit me up on Facebook or Grindr, whatever.
Okay. Grindr, Tinder.
Yeah.
But so I mean, I want to get Billy back. I want to get all you guys back and more and more like from a cast from Cowboys when you get into production. I don't want to ask too much because I don't want to know too much before the film. I like to see it.
Fun is, I bought a switcher and stuff recently. I might try to get that going when I go shoot, is to have that up so we can jump on behind the scenes and get some interviews, like some of my guys, my favorite podcast guys and stuff. Y'all just jump on and we'll do some stuff behind the scene in the next movie, because I'm really into letting new filmmakers see kind of what things are and just giving a little bit of how to do things. I like that kind of stuff as far as, paying it forward kind of thing.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah,
I'm sure Sean wouldn't mind.
Billy is great to help the aspiring filmmakers. I mean, they're out there, and they're about to embark on their first film venture, and Billy is not going to discourage them. He encourages it, but at the same time, Billy, I think, you're okay with me saying this. You're honest with them, right? I mean, making film is not an easy endeavor. No. I mean, it's going to be, like everything else, anything good in life that you aspire to do, you've got to work hard to get to it and then get through it. I mean,
I'm not above.
You're absolutely right.
It's called focus, dumbass. It's called a microphone. Try to use it. That kind of stuff.
Yeah, no, that's right.
It's true.
Constructive criticism is like, I appreciate constructive criticism. I don't take it personally.
No,
it actually makes me stop and take a step back and think about what I'm doing and be like, oh yeah, shit.
If you're too good to be told, you shouldn't be doing what you're doing. Because no one was born knowing how to do this stuff. It's a learning curve for everybody, and everyone learned from somebody.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's like I tell aspiring actors, go find classes, train, find out what works for you.
Yeah.
Okay. Assemble your own bag of tricks that allows you to not act and you become that character. Because I mean, that's the ultimate high. That's why you do it. Okay. And when the director yells action and the lights and the crew goes away and you're that guy, whoever he is in that moment, and what's happening to him is real, that's what it's about. And you're really probably only going to be able to learn how to achieve that moment from a good acting coach or classes. So, I'm not saying some people aren't born with a natural ability, but I know that for me it took, again, there's a whole plethora of different methods out there, and you find that method that works for you.
Yeah.
And there's different levels too. Like I tell Parrish too, is if some people weren't made to act, they may look pretty cool and be a good background person or a good Jason or a Freddy or something that doesn't talk in the background. So never feel afraid to reach out to a filmmaker, but then listen to what they're saying, turn in that headshot, and say, well, I don't have a headshot. Look up on Google and see what a headshot is. Look that up and send those to those emails if you're looking for a stand-in part in the background or something, because you just got to get your foot in the door. And that's even good for filmmakers, just to be on other sets as to volunteer for other movies too. So
when they call, you run. When I sorted out back in 2000, 2001, there was no real digital revolution yet at that point. And so I went up, and at that point, Walker, Texas Ranger was in its final season, shooting in Dallas. And so I ended up doing like extra work on there. I was in the crowd, then I was a featured extra, then I got a couple lines of dialogue. But I learned by watching, and I was going through classes at the same time. And as well, I also listened to what they needed. I overheard the casting directors they were discussing one day they'd gotten a call they needed 40 people for the next day. And it was late in the evening, and they were in a quandary as to how they were going to do that. And I'm thinking, okay, here's my chance to maybe show them I'm willing to work hard in exchange for maybe a little more time on camera. So I walked over and I said, I can get you 40 people. Because I came from a small town, and I knew 40 people would love to come up and be on Walker, Texas Ranger. And they said, you can do that? Yeah. So, because people in small towns are not jaded when it comes to films or, a TV show. So,
that's right.
Say they had 40 people. The next week, I got called back, and they said, okay, you did this for us, we'll do that for you. It's this kind of work ethic that my dad raised me with, that you work hard and do more than what's expected of you if you want to move forward. And I don't know, it's all about hard work and effort. Yeah.
Well, thank you, guys. If anybody wants to pick up the re-release from Dread Central, go to dreadcentral.com for Circus of the Dead. Keep your eyes and ears open for Billy's new film that he's working on, Cowboys from Hell. Parrish is also in that film. And go check out Hair Metal Shotgun Zombie Massacre at the drive-in, and go and take a look at Fun if you can, and when we can, because we're in the Great White North, when we have access to said films, me and Sean will gladly give them a watch.
Thank you.
And if I can get my paws on,
and
my hands on
definitely hear any info we can as soon as it's released as well. Like as soon as you guys start. Yeah.
You bet.
Awesome. Thank you so much again for coming on, guys, and hopefully we'll see you on here again soon.
Yep. We'll be in touch, and as Billy gets further in line with Cowboys from Hell, maybe we'll get getting back.
Yes.
I appreciate you guys having us on.
All right.
And I look forward to working with Billy. Hey, Billy, I'll see you shortly. We'll be hopefully shooting up some shit in Cowboys,
Right. Perfect. All right, guys. Thank you so much for coming.
All right.
Episode 1, Ramblings of Madman. It's been a time.
Bye, y'all.
Stay safe.
Yeah.
And mad love.
Later, guys. See ya.
See ya.